Hi everyone. I would just like to take a moment of your time to show you a few little tricks that might help your viewing of the Dashpot a little better. So because it's a PDF file, and depending on what type of device you're looking at it, for example, if you're using Windows computer and you have a browser, often the browser will open up the PDF file. Otherwise, if you have Adobe as a software loaded in your system, it would open up in Adobe, or you could choose. There's really two differences, and I just want to point things out for you. This is an example of the email that I received, and when I click on it, it brings me, in my case, because I have Adobe in my browser, it brings me to my browser. Okay? Now, it could come big or small depending on the basic zoom that I have on my browser, but I want to show you some simple things. Okay, number one, you can download this file. Okay, so if it comes in your browser like this, then you could download it. For example, I'm going to save it, and I'll just save it to my desktop. Okay. And then I can use my Explorer and go to my desktop. And when I see this file here, I can right click and I can choose Open With. And if I have Adobe on my system, I can force it to open with Adobe. And there's a huge difference by looking at the file under Adobe. For example, we can, shrink it to the way we want. But one of the big issues when we look at Adobe is when we do our links. So for example, in the Dashpot, there's quite a few links. So when I click a link, it's going to open it in my browser, but I still have my page open in Adobe. Okay? So that's a really nice feature if you're looking at it with Adobe. However, we can do the same thing if you don't have Adobe. So I'm just going to close this down and go back to the Dashpot viewed using what they call an Adobe plugin viewer in your browser. So if you're looking at the Dashpot in your browser and you have a link, okay, I just want to show you, if I, instead of just clicking the link, if I right click the link, I have an option to open the link in a new tab or a new window. So you could then open the link in a new tab and it'll open it here, and you will then still have your Dashpot here. Otherwise, what happens is, for example, if you don't do that and you're looking at the Dashpot in your browser, and you click a link, it replaces it with a page. And I haven't figured out a way around that because it's a PDF file and I'm working on it. Number two, and this is just another little trick that will help you when it comes to things like pictures or ads. So for example, these pictures here, if you'd like to see them more, you can hold down the Control key, which is on my keyboard, it's the far left bottom key. And when I push that key down, the Control key, and on my mouse, the scrolling bar that goes up and down like this, I can scroll, make it smaller or make it bigger. And then we can then have a look at some of these pictures. Okay, so for example, there may be a picture here. You want to look at it bigger, you can, or if you want to look at the writing bigger, you can by just scrolling back and forth while you hold down the Control key. So while I have you here, please take the time. I think it's on page 3 or 4 of the March issue, but please take the time to complete the Dashpot survey. This will help us make the Dashpot more beneficial to everybody and give you more articles or more information that you want. So for example, you could just scan this code with your phone and it'll pop up the form, or you could click it here and it'll bring you to a Ottawa MG Club survey on the Dashpot. And as you can see, it's not very big at all. It'll take you less than a minute or two. And we would certainly appreciate your feedback on the Dashpot and where you'd like it to see it in the future.